Our next speaker on the cards is uh, Ganesh. He is going to be talking about null safety in Dart and Flutter. So why don't we have Ganesh on the screen now?
Yeah.
There he is.
Hi.
Hi, Ganesh. It has been such a long time. I know that we met the last time in a physical meetup that was held at Geeky Ants, and now you're back here after such a long time. It is wonderful
Yeah.
to see you again.
Yeah. It's wonderful to see you too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. How has it been going for you?
It's been good and it's been tough as well because of all the restrictions which is going on to travel and things like that. But yeah.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I can imagine. Well, it has been tough for all of us, but 2020 is behind us, and I hope everything that year brought is behind us as well. We can
Yeah.
only hope
Right.
for the best. So,
True.
as a quick introduction, of course, guys, Ganesh is working as a software technologist with Philips. He is currently, if I'm not wrong, working on some diagnostic X-ray legacy systems,
Yeah.
and of
Right.
course, on some future technological advancements as a Java expert. Uh, he loves to travel. He loves to write tech reviews and is also a YouTube star, apparently. So he has his own YouTube channel called Gadget Kada, where he talks about all the tips and hacks and tricks that you can use in your daily life and make technology work for you in strange and mysterious ways, much like the universe. So,
Yeah.
Ganesh, I'm going to let you take the stage and, well, take it away. All the best.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. I'll start sharing. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about all about null safety. So this is a pretty new topic. Let's just go. So what will you learn from this? So we learn what is null safety, why do we need null safety, how to use or write null safety, and what are the next steps you can do to make your code null safe. So let's first talk what is null or what is this null safety and what is this about. So why have I given this a picture of lockers? So imagine we have a set of lockers and let's say for example in the red one there should be apples, in the yellow one there should be pineapples, and maybe blue ones should have water bottles, and we just lock it and we just give the key to the users so or the students, and we say that these are the things which you would find there. And imagine that the student comes and they open one of these lockers and they find it's empty. So that means that we have told that there is apples in the red ones, but there may not be. So that is what actually null means. It means that it's not there. So the object is not there. What so variables, we save everything as variables. So you can actually, it's the lockers are analogous to variables, and where we store whatever values we want. For example, if you want string, we store a string, and if nothing is there, that is it. It is termed as null. So it is a pretty old concept. It's there in all languages. So earlier, how we used to do it in Dart is that we create a variable, and let's say that at any other line, we are not initializing it or we are not giving any value to that variable. And we are saying that, okay, print locker.length. So it is a method inside, this locker or a string, sorry. Yeah, in a string, we have a length method and we are calling this. Similarly, if we have another variable, imagine you are calling that. And since we have not initialized this, it will not throw you an compiler error, but it will throw you a runtime failure. So this kind of, if you have missed some runtime failures like this, it can cause a Flutter app failure. In case of Flutter, the app crashes and the UI crashes. That means the customer is not happy and the developer is not happy as well. So how would we, handle this? So that is the next question. So earlier in my earlier talks also, I've always talked about Dart Analyzer. So Dart Analyzer is like, an old man. So he's like Yoda. He knows everything. He'll tell you that, okay, should not do this. You should do it like this and things like that. Now imagine that or Yoda on a Super Saiyan mode, wherein it can know, okay, fine, this can cause a null pointer exception. So or a null exception. So in Java, we always have a null pointer exception. In Dart also, currently we have null exceptions wherein you pass a null value and you're not checking it and you're using it, and it will cause a null exception in the runtime. So how do we do that? So there are a few null safety principles. First is non-nullable by default. What it means is that they have changed the language in such a way that by default, if you create any variables, it is not nullable. So you cannot initialize and make it as a null. Okay, so then the second step is that it is incrementally adoptable, meaning what it means is that you can slowly adopt to null safety. You do not require the whole application to be moved to null safe. You can slowly, in phases, you can move the application to null safe. The third one is that fully sound. So that is what they want to achieve. So that is what the Dart team and the Flutter team wants to achieve, that all the applications or all the code which is done using Dart or Flutter be fully sound. So what they mean by fully sound? So fully sound means that there will not be any null exceptions or null issues in runtime. So the code will not fail due to null. So that is why they want, and that is what they mean by a fully sound. So let's just go by how you can create a variable which is null safe. So if you see here on the left side, you can see a Dart without null safety, which was the earlier existing one, wherein you have to create a locker or a variable, and then you just say, okay, that dot length. So this creates a null pointer or null exception during runtime. And with null safety, what you cannot create something like this. And you have, if you are creating, you have to actually initialize it. So before using it, you have to initialize it. So I had told that, the Dart analyzer or Yoda, he is very intelligent. He knows that whenever you are using it, he'll just check that if it has been initialized or not. And during compile time itself, it will throw an error that, it is a null and you cannot use like that. So let's say sometimes, nullable variables are needed, right? For example, in a REST APIs or in an API call or, server calls, there are use cases where null is required. So how will you handle that? So what they did is they actually splitted the whole, data structures into two types. One is a nullable type and the other one is a non-nullable type. So if you create normally like string locker, it is a non-nullable type. And if you want a nullable variable, you have to create string and a question mark. So let's say this is just an example. You can add this question mark to any other data type. It will again become a nullable data type. Now, there are a few drawbacks of this nullable data type is that you cannot call a method directly like this. We'll come back to that in next few slides. So let's say how an instance field. So when an instance field is given, it must either be initialized at the declaration using an initializing formal, or be initialized in the constructor's initialization list. So if you see here, I have a variable which is initialized here, or if it is passed in the constructor, that is also okay, or it has to be initialized inside the constructor itself. So these are three ways where you can initialize the instance fields of it might be a data type or anything like that. So next, local variable. So local variable must be definitely assigned before it is used. So earlier we had this example, right? And if you see here, I'm printing it here. But then in this code, it is just an if-else code, and Dart analyzer or Yoda, as I call him, it knows that, it has been initialized. So in this scenario, it will not throw an error, and this will never be null, because it's even when what we are passing is not a non-nullable type, it's a non-nullable type. So this also cannot be null, and this also cannot be null, because we are either giving it as n or as a -1. So this will pass. There will not be any null issues, right? So yeah. So then what about optional or named parameters, wherein you given, parameters are optional or named? In that scenario, you definitely have to give a default value. Until if you don't give a default value, the analyzer will again throw an error. So if you don't want to give a default value, then it should be a nullable variable, wherein you say string and question mark and name. Then you do not have to give this whatever default value you want. So that is the case. Next, okay, let's say that what if, Yoda doesn't agree with you? There are certain cases where the Dart analyzer would say that it is wrong, but you know that it will work. So there are certain scenarios like that. For example, in this scenario, if you see, I have a locker class and I have a locker. This is the constructor, and here I call this method call locker number. And in this method, let's say that you are sure that it returns a integer, right? It returns an int which is not null at all. You're sure about that, but Dart analyzer will say that it not work. Okay, it may throw error. So in that scenario, what you have to do is you have to add a keyword late. So what does this late keyword do is that it will initialize this locker number only when it is required. So only during runtime. So during data analyzer or a compile time, this will not check, and that time it will not throw an error. So why it is basically, why it is throwing that error? The reason might be that since it is a variable here, it can be changed anytime using a getter, or that's why it's throwing an error. But you are sure that okay, it will, it will be created or initialized here only, and it will not throw a null. So you have to give a late keyword. Okay. So using variables and expressions. So that is the next thing. So how do you handle nullable variables? So let's say that you have a int value and you have to assign this nullable locker number into this value. So you cannot directly assign it. If you say int value is equal to nullable locker number, that will again throw an error saying that this is nullable value and this is not a nullable value. How can you do that? So that kind of thing. So what you'll have to do is you have to give this expression of question mark in the sense that if it is null, you give it as 0. So there are different ways to do that. One thing is, if you are sure that okay, this will not be null, then you can either cast it as string, or cast it as, sorry, here it would be casting as int, or you can say an exclamation mark. So exclamation mark is similar to using a casting as this, using a casting. So it is same as that of this, but this should be done very carefully. If you're only positive that the value will not be null, if you even have a very small doubt that the value can be null, this should not be used, that the exclamation mark at the end. Okay. Now using nullable variables. So let's say when you're using a nullable variable, so here I have created a nullable variable, it can be null. So in this method, I'm making this as Yoda, and this is baby Yoda, and let's say check locker is another method wherein I am checking this is not equal to null, and then I'm printing here. So if you see here, this is I have taken from the data analyzer itself, and if you can see here, you get a yellow line, and you would be thinking that okay, I have done a null check, still I am getting a an error from the, it would be a warning that it can be null, and you would be thinking, why am I getting a warning? Because I've already checked, right? So it should not come. The reason why is that of get locker name or something like that, it inside, and imagine that that actually changes this value, since it's a nullable value and it is at the class level. So what happens is that if there is another method which can change this value to null, in that scenario you will get a null exception. So that is why Yoda is very, this data analyzer is very intelligent, and it knows that okay, this can be null. So in that scenarios, you have a few options. One is you can use this exclamation operator, or you can typecast. You can say locker name, since it's a string, you can say locker name as string, or there's another possibility that you create a local nullable variable. So you create similar local nullable variable here. You put that, for example, let's say string question mark local variable name equal to locker name. So what happens there is that you're copying whatever is data is in this one into that local variable, and then if you're checking for null, then you are sure that okay, this local variable cannot be changed outside of this method, and then you can use it here, so the dart will not throw the error. Okay. Now again, let's come back to using nullable variables. Let's say you have this nullable variable. As I told earlier, you cannot use directly a method of a nullable variable anymore. So since a nullable variable, you have to check for null before using it. So you have to check like question mark, that is if it is not null, then only it checks for this. So or else you can also use like, you can check like this as well. So this is a single line code, or if you want to do an explicit check that okay, if locker name not equal to null, this also is acceptable. So a data analyzer is intelligent enough to do that as well. Okay. So but for example, let's say that you are doing this right, and I am again putting a question mark here. So in that case, data analyzer will give you a warning that it is not null, you do not have to use this. So that code is redundant, so you can remove it. So that way also it's kind of increasing the code redundant, I mean decreasing the code redundancy, and it will tell you okay, you do not want to use that. It is a warning, it's not an error. If you want, you can use it, but it's of no use, right? So let's go to next variable data types, which are list and set types. So there comes a little bit of complication that, okay, let's say you have a list of string, and how do I define that some things are null or not? So there are four different types in which you can define them, in the sense that you can say list of string. So what is list of string means that neither list, the whole list, nor the elements of the list are null. Okay. And if it is list of string, and if I'm putting a question mark here, this means the list is not null, but one of the element can be null. And this means the list is null, and here the list and the element, any of the elements can be null, or all the elements, it doesn't matter. So typically when we code, we do not put it on the left side, put it on the right side, which is known as the literal. So we put it here on the literal side, and we say, okay, string here, if you see this example here, this I've added a null, and this will not throw an error in data analyzer anymore, because I have given it the elements can be null. If I put a question mark outside, even the whole list can be null. Okay. Now, map types are a little bit more trickier than the list types. So there also you have the four different kind of things. If you see here, the map string int, then a question mark, or a map string int question mark, or after that two question marks. So if you see here, these two cases, right? So in these two cases, when all, so in maps, what is in maps? So what we have, a map is like a dictionary. Basically, you have a key and a value, and you say that I want a value using this key. You give the key to the map, and it will return you the value. So what if the value is not there, right? So there are scenarios when you give a key and the value is not there in the map. So the problem there is that the lookup can return null, even though you have said that the values or the keys cannot be null. Even though you have said that, values or the map cannot be null, you have said like that, still the return can be null. So in those scenarios, in these scenarios which I've highlighted, the lookups can be null, even though if we have said that it's not null. So if you see here, let's say int value, and I've given it like this. So in this scenario, this is wrong, and it actually throws a compile time error, because we have given a this value is not there, right? So it is a lookup. If you see here, this is actually looking for one. It does exist, but the thing is, the lookup should always be a nullable value. So how to use this correctly, right? So there are three ways to use it correctly. One is you can create a nullable variable. The second one is you are sure that, okay, it cannot be null. Then you give that exclamation mark, which I talked about earlier, or else you can use that null aware operator, wherein you say that, okay, if it is null, you return another value. So there are three different ways. The least used should be the exclamation operator, this operator. The other two are fine, right? So how to enable null safety? So that is a big question. Now you have to switch to Flutter to the beta channel. It has not yet been updated to the master channel. You have to switch your Flutter to beta channel, and then give these two commands, that is switching it to beta channel and then given a Flutter upgrade. It will upgrade your whole system into null safety. Now, so yeah, now why null safety? Actually, this is the way, right? In the future, you do not want the runtime exceptions of null issues. There would be a lot of null pointers you would have also faced as a developer. And if you have faced these issues, if you are converting into null safe, it is fully sound, means there is no null errors, and this actually improves a lot of performance, because in the compile time and in the when it's compiling and the runtime, they do not have to check for null and those kind of things. Okay, so there are a few important links as well. So there is detailed discussions on understanding of working of null safety. It is by Dart. There is a migration guide for the existing code, wherein you can migrate your existing code completely. So these are very detailed guides. There is null safety FAQ, wherein you can ask, there are a lot of commonly asked questions about null safety. There is null safety with, DATPad with null safety. So DATPad with null safety, I'll just open it up. So okay, so DATPad with null safety is, you can click on nullsafety.datpad.dev. So you can go and try it out. So in that scenario, you can see that whatever the null safety features are there, you can check out in this DATPad with null safety. So there is I've also given a link for the article on unsound null safety. what is unsound null safety and how you can use it. So unsound null safety means that partially you are moving your application to null safety and partially it will be, not null safe. Then at the last, I have given a link for experimenting with null safety in Flutter, wherein how you can move your application to Flutter application to null safe. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you.